using space that is neither here nor there. It's kind of too small to do anything with, so just ends up being the dumping ground, and it is a real hassle to clean up. I'm sure we can all relate. Well, Mark and Alice, they have an area just like that. They've called me in to lend a hand and see what I can do with it. Hi. Morning.
Oh.
Morning, guys.
Hello, Tara.
Nice to meet you, Mark. Hello, Alice.
Hello, hi.
What a beautiful space you've created here.
We just went the easy path and just chose white for everything because everyone says vivid white is...
It's the new beige, isn't it?
It's the thing, but you know, we always liked colour.
What about this room? Do you think this would be better used as maybe like a window seat, something to utilise all of this gorgeous light? So maybe it could be kind of like a seat, like a window seat with storage underneath. Would that work?
I think it would make better use of the space.
Yeah, I think so. All right, okay, I've got lots of ideas. These guys look like they're about to finish breakfast and head off to school. You guys head off to work, and I'll get to work.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So my plan is to create a book nook. That's somewhere to sit and read. Custom-built seating can be incredibly expensive, but not if you make it yourself. Now, if you're wondering about the height, here's a good tip. Just grab a stool or a seat from around your place and measure it just to the top. You'll see it usually comes in at around 440 up to about 450. Now, by using a base cabinet, just a flat pack will do, you can see you've already got 290 in there. It does need feet. These cabinets these days come with adjustable feet, which is perfect. It means that you can take up the slack just by spinning that around, and if you're on the taller side you can make them even higher. Now do remember to factor in your mattress material at the top, that's that padding. That way you'll have the perfect bench seat that you've built yourself. Up she goes. Now because we've got a slightly wider wall at this end, we can fully utilise that. So the bench seat will actually run at a slight angle. It will make one end of the window seat slightly wider, a bit more like a sofa. Now this to me is the perfect area to introduce some colour. So we can do that with paint. I'm going to go for two different shades of blue here. For the side walls, a slightly lighter blue. This one is called Antarctica Lake. And then just for the back wall, one of my all-time favourites has to be duck egg blue. It's a light sort of, it's a greeny blue but very easy to live with. Now if you do struggle with colour, you know a really easy way to do it is just grab yourself a project guide. They do all the work for you in these sorts of things. So if you just flick through, you can find a palette that you like this one. These two colours are in here and you can be pretty much guaranteed that all of these colours will work harmoniously together. So let's get started. I think we'll do the side walls first, do the backdrop, and then we can start building. If the idea of painting an entire room seems just a little bit daunting, I mean, let's face it, it's a big job for a weekend. Take heart, because it's amazing what a huge difference just a little bit of colour can make. Now, obviously it's made it easier for me here because Alice and Mark already had these walls freshly painted in crisp white, but by adding this bluey green to the end of the room, you know, it's going to entirely lift the space. This is a very doable thing at home. Feature walls, well, they're still in, but by wrapping them around a little further, it's just going to make it feel cosy and so relaxed here. This is such a busy space. It leads onto the laundry, the kitchen, the swimming pool, and it's also the dining room. So it's important that I use the right paint. This one is antibacterial and it's also wash and wear with stain resistance. So it's going to stand up well to those creative little hands. Then just clamp and screw the base units together. Pine batten around the three sides will actually take the weight of the bench top itself, for which I'm using plywood. I really like the colour and I also like the grain. You can buy it in different thicknesses, but to have 30mm at the front would be really expensive and it's hard to find. So we're cheating a little bit, we're doubling it up at the front and using another strip as a packer at the back, and then the top itself goes on. Nice. Some drawer runners and these funky handles are going to complete the hidden storage under my book nook. I'm pretty excited about our new window seat. It's all coming together. The colours are great. We've got lots of seating and plenty of hidden storage. But there are more details to add, and that's all coming up a little later in the show. window seat with hidden storage is coming along nicely. The walls are painted and most of the cabinetry is in, but not everything you own has to be tucked away. Sometimes it's actually nice to have things out on display, things like your special books. So for that, I'm building 2 bookcases with a difference. They start by using pine. Now you can buy this off the shelf from Bunnings, and you need a main spine. Now that's what's going to hold all of the shelves together. So a very simple construction. This is really, really easy and it looks neat too. What I'm using is my jigsaw just to check out notches all the way up. Now this allows each of the shelves to be fitted into place. So that's the main support. Now for the shelves, it's pretty much the same process, only you can see that I've checked out slightly wider, and the way it all goes together is the shelves just slot in like so. Now to make it really stable, you will need to glue and screw from behind, but as you can see, it's a very simple construction, really neat and tidy. Often it's the smallest things that count, and this again proves that you don't need to paint everything to make a huge difference. Just an edge strip of the same colour I used on the wall really does lift these shelves. You could do this on shelves you already have at home. Little things make all the detail. If I'd have used brackets for all of these shelves, I'd have holes all over the wall, but by having this backbone, it's really great because it not only looks good, but it means I only need 3 screw holes, which is pretty cool because it's not going to damage the wall that much. And if Alice and Mark ever decide to take it down, it's a very easy fix. Lost 2 of the power points that are sort of buried below this window seat, but there is a handy alternative. We can make holes in the top so we can actually still use the power points. You can buy these neat plastic cable tidy ducts, I guess they're called. You can just pop the outside in like that, and that neatens off the splintery edges. Then it's in with the power cord. You can just about reach it in there. Flick that on, and then what happens is this holds that cable neat and tidy over the top. Our windows, well, they don't have a window sill, which is a bit of a shame above a window seat because it's a lost opportunity for somewhere to put your cup of tea, maybe a book or even a pot plant. So I'm going to make some very simple sill shelves. I'm using the same pine as I use for the bookshelves. All you need to know here is to make sure that when you nail it off, it is really square. So you can do that by using this tool, which is called a square. I'm using a nail gun. It's a bit of a toy, but you know, if you haven't got one of these, a hammer and nails will do. To fill the holes so they're kind of invisible, I'm just using this water-based wood filler. Once it's dry, you'll never know they're there. Now you can see I've actually only made a short windowsill shelf. If you times this by 3, it means you can move them around. Just gives you a bit more flexibility. Just going to try this out for size. Now, the idea here is having it wider means you can kind of sit up at this end and lean, but unfortunately it's not very comfortable leaning against this bookshelf. So by having a backrest, it actually enables you to have something to lean against, and I thought we could actually pin this to the shelf. You could have square, you could have rectangular, but by having the circular, it just kind of breaks up all of these hard lines. And the great thing too is by having that there, you can still access what's behind it. It's kind of a neat solution. Once that's on, I'm going to pad it. I think that's going to look fantastic. To pad this bench, I could have gone for the traditional option, which is foam padding, but you know, this is such a high wear area. This is acoustic paneling. You can find it from the hardware store. We normally use it on walls or as like a pinboard behind a desk, but used here with this self-adhesive foam on the back, it makes an incredibly durable cushioned padding which they can take outside and brush down. I think it's a really great solution and it looks good too. From a dark little corner that was pretty underutilised and frankly looked very unloved to the most amazing little destination in this room. This wasn't a major makeover, but doesn't it look amazing? I absolutely love the colours, I love all the storage. There's plenty of seating here for the whole family. I reckon this is something they'll enjoy for years to come. It's a great makeover for a modern family. Now I'm hoping that the inspiration from this little makeover will carry through to this whole house. It's something that Alice and Mark desperately need to keep going with this renovation.